Hey guys, it's Erica here, and I wanted to say hello to a few of my friends out there in our listening audience. I would love to say hello to whoever is listening to me from Auckland. I'm not even sure where that is. I'm going to look it up on the map tonight. I do apologize that I don't know where that is. But I am like so beyond honored that you would listen to me from Auckland. Also, to my listener over in DC, all my listeners in Texas, Pearland, Lubbock, um, Austin, thank you so much. I know there's so many of you. Also, I'd like to say hi to my listener in Vinton, Iowa, my friend over in New York, Jamestown, Rhode Island, my home state, and all the folks in Maine too. I've got quite a few cities in Maine that tune in. And if you're listening to this from Maine, I hope that you do come down to Rhode Island to the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference. Hopefully, we'll get to connect there. But today's episode is really crafted for our veteran directors out there. One who's mastered compliance, understands staffing strategy, and can really run a program in their sleep. But this episode isn't about operations, it's about you. We're exploring what it really means to cultivate and sustain a strong leadership mindset, especially when you've been leading for years. This is for the director who isn't looking for surface level self-care tips, but real, reflective practices that elevate your leadership and to deepen your personal mastery. Because let's be honest, after a decade or more in this field, you've seen a lot. You've weathered enrollment drops, licensing visits, unfilled staffing rosters, and moments where you question whether this work is still sustainable. But the truth is, the longer you're in leadership, the more important your mindset becomes. Not just to survive, but to evolve. And this is a place and a season that I am in my life right now. And that's why I want to talk about it. Today's episode isn't about theory, it's about practice. And I don't mean best practices in your classroom. I mean your internal leadership practice. Because high-level directors don't just manage centers. They manage their energy, their vision, their life, their legacy. So let's get into it. Let's talk about practicing reflection. Leadership requires a mirror. You cannot lead with clarity if you don't regularly check in with yourself. In the early years of leadership, it's all about action, doing, fixing, responding. But once you reach maturity in your leadership role, your inner awareness becomes the most valuable tool that you have. So I want you to carve out an intentional space in your week. Even if it's 15 minutes, ask yourself, what am I learning from this season? Even the hard parts. What are you learning? Excuse me, I had to get a little sip of water there. What emotions are driving my decisions right now? Maybe where am I reacting and where am I being intentional? Or am I being kind to myself in this process? Or am I defaulting to that perfectionism and control? You're not just running a center, you're running a mission. And the mission requires clarity. So try this week. Start a weekly leadership debrief journal. Friday afternoon, before the emails pile up, jot down what worked, what challenged you, and what do I want to shift next week, internally and externally. Mindfulness isn't fluff and unicorns and rainbows and yoga classes. It's strategy. It gives your brain space to process, your heart space to breathe, and your leadership a space to evolve. You see, the quality of your mindset will often reflect the quality of your circle. One of the most overlooked professional practices in leadership longevity is curating your network. As directors, we're often in silos. We're solving hard problems with few people to confide in. But surrounding yourself with leaders who build, who are innovative, and stay solution oriented will radically impact your mental stamina. Instead of draining it, they're filling it. So join or start with a leadership peer group, a small group of directors who meet once a month virtually or in person to share what's working in your center, what's not working in your center, what mindsets or limiting beliefs are you battling. And let's be clear, this isn't a space for venting without vision. This is about being solution-focused support. You need people who can say, you're not crazy, but let's look at this from a leadership lens. Find a mentor or accountability partner. You're never too advanced to be coached. In fact, the more seasoned you are, the more intentional your support needs to be. Ask yourself this: who inspires me and challenges me to think differently? And this is one of the reasons I love to be a coach. And this is one of the reasons I love to be coached. This is why I love my John Maxwell leadership group so much, because I'm in a group with so many other leaders. Am I learning from leaders who are 2 steps ahead of me? Not just people who are in the same struggle and the same challenges. Your mindset thrives in a climate of expansion. So build that climate around you on purpose. Stop going into rooms where you're the one giving and giving and giving. You need to be in rooms with people who know more than you, who understand where you are going, understand the road that you're on now, who understand your past journey. You want to foster a culture of growth in your team. Leadership mindset isn't something you keep to yourself. It's something you model. One of the biggest mindset traps that we fall into as directors is expecting others to grow while we're stuck. And if you don't know about the John Maxwell's law of the lid, check it out. Culture begins with modeling. If your team sees you stretching yourself, evolving your thinking, owning your mistakes, and embracing curiosity over blame, they will follow. It's not theory. It's behavioral psychology. Shift from performance metrics to growth metrics. Ask yourself this: who is stepping outside of their comfort zone in your center? Who didn't think they could get that CDA? Who didn't think they could get that associate's degree? Who didn't think they could finally get that parent who is never happy to finally be like, oh my God, Susie is a great teacher? Where am I rewarding effort? Not just perfection, but effort, real effort. Create safety around mistakes. Tell your staff, in this center, we don't hide from failure. We learn from it. We talk about it. We fix it. We move forward better than before. You see, your mindset becomes your staff's emotional baseline. If you're rigid, fearful, or emotionally unavailable, they will mirror that. But if you're honest, energized, and humbled in your learning, they will rise. They will rise. Leadership longevity comes from creating leaders around you. Can I get a clap? Comes from creating leaders around you, not just compliant staff, but leaders. Leaders. The guy had said in an episode, sorry about that, I'm right across from the fire station there. You are the thermostat. You're not the thermometer. You set the temperature by growing yourself first. After a decade in this field, it's easy to believe you've heard it all. But the most effective directors that I know of are consistent and constant learners. They read books. They go to trainings that challenge their assumptions. They seek out resources that support and sharpen both their heart and their mind. Pick at least one podcast that challenges your leadership assumptions. Read 5 pages in a book each morning or each evening, or maybe both. Join one new workshop or training each quarter that is just for you. Not on your team, not on the children, not on the parents, not on the QuickBooks, not on the profit. Here are a few themes that I suggest for you, and the ones that I'll probably talk about in upcoming episodes. But emotional intelligence for leaders, trauma-informed supervision, or advanced delegation and succession planning. Because again, if you've been around a long time, pretty sure somewhere in the near future, you might be thinking of selling, exiting it out, retirement. Who is going to replace you? A great leader is always building other leaders to move on up. Because that's what our kids deserve. That's what our programs deserve. That's how you create legacy. Or culture architect. Or decision making under pressure. You know yourself better than I do. Ask yourself, where would you like to grow where it's really just for you? Remember, the role of a director has changed. We're not just overseeing lesson plans. We are building micro communities. That requires an advanced mindset, sharp intuition, and emotional maturity, my friends. So invest in yourself with that same urgency that you use when you're planning licensing visits or tuition payments, when it's Friday night and you're planning your message that says, if you haven't paid by Monday morning, Johnny's not coming. Because you're strategic. Be strategic. Here are some things that can help you. Block 15 minutes on your calendar right now for your first leadership debrief. Make it a standing weekly appointment with yourself. Don't cancel on yourself. Text one fellow director or childcare leader today. Ask them, want to be in a leadership accountability partner group with me this quarter? Maybe schedule your first 30-minute Zoom or coffee date, or even select a coach. Doesn't have to be me. Could be anybody that holds you accountable. Pick one development area that you have been avoiding, whether it's courageous conversations, visionary planning, or letting go of micromanagement. Face it. Get a resource and build and grow a plan with it. If you really think about it, you know that this is the conversation you need to have with yourself. You didn't come this far to plateau. You came this far because you were called to build, influence, and leave a legacy. And that legacy is not found on your checklist. It's found in your mindset. So protect it, stretch it, refine it. And above all, don't do it alone. You've built others for years. It is now time to build you. And if you're ready to go deeper, I want to personally invite you to join me for our weekly group coaching and accountability sessions every Wednesday. This is a space to reflect, realign, and grow along the side of other high-level childcare leaders who are doing the work just like you. So let's connect inside the community. Visit us at www.childcaredirectorschair.com and join the Wednesday accountability group and make this mindset work stick. I'll be there and I'll hold you accountable. That I promise. We're going to do this together. Until next time, keep leading, keep evolving, and stay in that seat. This is the Childcare Director's Chair.